Although Taylor and Travis have not distributed formal wedding invitations, the evidence surrounds us everywhere, and by following these hints, connecting various pieces, and interpreting what has been expressed and what remains unspoken, you will discover we possess considerably more information than initially apparent. The engagement itself already reveals a narrative, and according to sources close to the situation, meaning individuals either intimately familiar with them or highly assured anonymous contributors and within the community dedicated to Swift, both categories hold validity. The proposal did not occur on some extravagant tropical coastline or against some orchestrated Parisian landmark backdrop. Instead, it happened at their residence in the backyard of Kelce's property, encircled by blossoms, in a garden he allegedly renovated secretly specifically for that instant. The ring was not ostentatious by entertainment industry standards, nor particularly aligned with Taylor's typical aesthetic. Instead, it carried sentimental value, with classic vintage inspiration, and speculation suggests he collaborated with a jeweler who previously created pieces for royal families emphasizing timeless elegance over sensationalism, which seems entirely appropriate given recent speculation emerging that Taylor desires to invite actual monarchy members to the ceremony specifically. Prince William and Kate Middleton with more details about invitations discussed later. Their announcement caption when they shared the news stated your English instructor and your physical education teacher are getting married, which encapsulates them perfectly as a worldwide superstar and an NFL champion, behaving as though they represent the neighborhood couple next door. The moment carried romance without performance, which communicates volumes about the type of ceremony they envision. Taylor has offered several remarks that were essentially scattered like trail markers, and only the devoted observers noticed during The Graham Norton Show. When the host joked about maintaining a small guest list, Taylor practically laughed, stating if she must begin selecting who deserves attendance, she will lose her sanity. She indicated it will be huge and enjoyable to organize because the only stressful ceremonies are those with limited capacity, where individuals exist on the periphery, requiring relationship evaluation to determine their inclusion, and anyone she has consulted agrees. That statement was hardly subtle, representing either a warning or commitment depending on perspective, as she essentially confirmed desiring the kind of ceremony where nobody experiences hurt feelings because everyone receives invitations, which proves interesting since it implies something sufficiently large to accommodate such crowds while remaining personal enough to avoid resembling a publicity maneuver. Then there is Travis, who on his podcast New Heights behaved as though wedding planning represented some distant concept, stating he must win a football game first, employing classic deflection tactics, yet what he avoided saying spoke more powerfully. He confirmed they are not rushing, that music selections await and live musical performances will definitely occur. And knowing Taylor serves as the bride, having completed the most legendary tour of all time, there exists no possibility she walks down the aisle to a playlist from someone's mobile device. There will be string instruments, perhaps acoustic interpretations of her own compositions, perhaps a live choir, perhaps unexpected appearances performing acoustic versions while she proceeds in slow motion. Whatever materializes, it will be orchestrated down to every heartbeat. Subscribe now to catch every update. Here the situation becomes genuinely fascinating regarding location, as most indicators point toward Taylor's Rhode Island mansion, the familiar one known as Holiday House, where all her Independence Day celebrations occurred. The property with ocean panoramas and sufficient privacy to prevent helicopter surveillance. Rhode Island's governor even subtly joined the enthusiasm, stating the state possesses some of the finest venues globally, which honestly represents political language, for we would appreciate the tourism benefits if you host your ceremony here, and it makes logical sense. She maintains emotional attachment to that location, where she has composed songs recovered from romantic disappointments, hosted those all-white beach gatherings with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds representing a sanctuary, and now possibly the location where she becomes a wife. Regarding timing, the most educated assumptions, and we discuss assumptions rooted in behavioral patterns not randomly generated, suggest early to mid-2026. Because Taylor is completing her album promotional cycle presently, and She has always been meticulous about timing, preferring wedding planning, not overlap with creative releases, and Travis obviously participates in the NFL with his season, concluding in early 2026. Therefore, a spring or summer wedding fits perfectly between their professional obligations. Enthusiasts are already performing astrological calculations, selecting dates based on fortunate numbers, lunar phases, and numerology, with some convinced it will be June 2026, while others insist it will occur exactly 13 months following the engagement, because naturally 13. Dress designers are already expressing tremendous excitement as Vera Wang literally stated publicly she predicts Taylor will wear multiple gowns. Not one, not two, perhaps three or more like costume transitions, but bridal-themed, and if you understand anything about Taylor's tour aesthetics, this tracks as the artist loves momentous occasions. Do not be surprised if she begins in something ethereal and flowing for the ceremony, transitions to a modern, glamorous appearance for the reception, and concludes in something sparkling and dance-friendly by the after-party, potentially even incorporating references to Enchanted or Love Story in the detailing, because that represents how she operates. Everything carries significance, as it is not merely a dress, but a lyric you wear. The guest list represents another fascinating aspect, with obvious attendees including Selena Gomez, the Haim sisters, Sophie Turner, Gigi Hadid, but also consider who Travis brings, like Patrick Mahomes and Britney, the entire Chiefs offensive line, and probably his brother Jason in attire slightly undersized. The atmosphere will merge football with fairy tale, and if that does not deserve a streaming documentary afterward, nothing does. What proves even more revealing involves what Jason Kelce recently disclosed, stating on their podcast that their mother, Donna, is not so subtly inquiring about wedding dates and possibly even hinting at grandchildren. Donna has been quoted expressing hopes the wedding is classic and enjoyable, and that she trusts Taylor to organize something elegant, which translates to she is prepared, and Jason even joked that she has already purchased her dress. We are not suggesting Donna maintains a collection of wedding inspiration concealed in her closet, but if she does, we would not blame her. There has also been discussion of a prenuptial agreement, not confirmed, but sensible considering. Together, Taylor and Travis are valued upwards of $1.6 billion, which represents not a marriage, but an empire. And when empires merge, legal professionals become involved, sophisticated ones, who understand how to draft romantic language in legal terminology. From a divorce attorney perspective, both individuals are independently wealthy, creating no necessity whatsoever to establish marital property or jointly held assets like community property. Therefore, a prenuptial agreement, inverting that definition, would be wise, essentially declaring every piece of property gained or purchased during marriage defaults as non-marital or separate property. Then there exist the unpredictable theories, with some fans believing they will conduct a private ceremony. First, perhaps this winter, exclusively for themselves and family, then host a massive public-style reception months later, while others think they will elope and release the announcement in a surprise manner, similar to Beyoncé simply posting a black-and-white photograph of matching rings and champagne glasses breaking the internet. One fan theory suggests the wedding already occurred secretly, and we are all slowly discovering the truth, and honestly, that would not surprise us.